prayer from the Liberian Senate that we've been playing here for some time. The time is 27 minutes past 8 o'clock. This is the Truth Breakfast Show, where if you've been following developments here, especially during the weekend, our political space has been bombarded with a lot of startling revelations and comments, specifically from political actors. The Secretary General of the ruling Unity Party, Wilmot Payne, has issued a statement that many persons see as very harsh and strong. So today, all through this week, that statement will be expanded. We have no choice. That is what this business is all about. To begin the week, we are pleased to have with us Mr. Eugene Nangwe, who has a very strong position entering the political space as an ally of CDC's Joshua and the Congress for Democratic Change. Later on, he found solace, of course, within the corridors of the ruling Unity Party. We're going to give him the opportunity. He has some ideas on what is happening to talk about all of these political development and where he's taking our country to. Eugene, good morning. Welcome to the True Breakfast Show.
Thank you, Mamadi, and thanks for the opportunity.
And how do you feel being here this morning?
Well, as usual, I am appreciative of the fact that you've given me a platform to express my views.
Okay.
So I'm thankful.
And we also thank you for accepting our invitation on a very short notice. And I want to put this straight question to you, and this will constitute the basis on which we will proceed. Do you have some concern and fear for this election? Are you sensing that we may, if we are not careful, end up into a violent post-election?
Well, I'm not just concerned about that, but I'm aware that some prominent persons in the society, including Dr. Amos Sawyer and a few others, have taken some positive and proactive steps, have been interacting with some of the candidates, urging them to ensure that their supporters are civil. I think Dr. Sawyer also met with Ambassador Weah. He has met with people from Mr. Salif's campaign and from Ben Servi's campaign. So he's taking
an personal initiative.
That's my understanding, and I think it's a good thing because we have to be civil. Politics is about exchanging ideas and then putting yourself forward so that the best candidate gets elected. I think we should keep it at that.
But personally, have you received any indication that something like that will happen, violence?
Well, I'm confident that the people of Liberia will continue to reject violence. So it is this confidence that I'm riding upon. And but yet still, we have to urge all of the actors to continue to ensure that their supporters remain focused on the core issues of the campaign and eschew violence. But I'm confident that people of Liberia don't want violence, and therefore there wouldn't be any violence.
You've come a long way. You was one within the ranks and files of the Congress for Democratic Change and first Secretary General of that party. And you led the party to win the election. And later on, we saw you leaving the party for the Unity Party. What is your understanding of some of the things we are now seeing within the Congress for Democratic Change and your own understanding within the rank and file of Mr. Robert Salif's campaign?
Well, first, I just heard that one young fellow who I knew very well, James Gray, has passed. I would like to extend my sympathies to his family and to the CDC family. And I would also want to quickly, before I go to your question, say thank you to the President. As the Minister of Youth and Sports, I look at her cabinet now. We have a very young cabinet. In fact, several of the ministers, I think about 40% of the ministers were born in the 70s. It shows competence. It shows that we have generational inclusion. So it's the task now of we who are relatively young to live up to the task and the expectations of both the President and the people of Liberia. You know, a very young cabinet. Judy Moore was born in the 70s. Patrick Semdolo, Amara Kon, and Gafwan. Nito Lai. These are all people who were born in the 70s. And, you know, I can look in the cabinet. I'm one of the oldest in the cabinet. Will you believe that? I'm older than almost half of them. Okay. So it shows that the President, has the youth at heart, and we now have to deliver in the space of time that she has left.
Is it the beginning of the generational change?
Well,
fruition?
I subscribe to the idea that we should have a generational fusion, not a radical change, but a transitional one where we tap in on the experience of those who are older, and then we merge our youthfulness and our young minds into governance, and not just in political governance, but also in the private sector. You can see a lot of young people in the business sector, in the professional sector, a lot of young lawyers. So that's the kind of change that can change Liberia.
Okay, then back to the question about your reading of what's...
Well, firstly, I must say, for the sake of being upright, that I support the candidacy of Mr. Robert Salif. I will vote for him. I think he's the best candidate, and when it is time for campaign, I will talk to people to also vote for him, and I'll give the reasons why I think. But it's not campaign, even though some people have started campaigning already. I have to say this before I make my comments.
Okay, so that we know where you're coming from.
Yes, I support him 100%, and I offer political advice to his campaign, and I will continue to do so. But a few things have happened, and I'm not an official of the Unity Party. I'm a floor member, as they say. And,
no, you're a member of the Unity Party.
Yeah, but I'm a floor member.
Yeah, but your support for Robert Salif in the face of the Unity Party referring to as an enemy, you reconcile that?
That's the point I want to get to. The statement by the Secretary General is not representative of the views of the rank and file of the Unity Party.
How do you know that?
Because though I'm a floor member, I know there was no executive committee meeting called, at which time it was agreed that such a statement would be issued. I think it was unilateral. And
what is the tradition normally?
It therefore cannot be representative of the views of the rank and file of the party.
Spokesperson of the party.
I'm not saying he didn't speak for the Unity Party, but if it is a policy statement that will have some legal bearing, because one of the things he said was that anybody who supports Mr. Salif and the Unity Partisan will be punished. It means for that punishment to occur, there must be some legal basis. And when I say legal basis, the party has rules as a constitution. So why would he be relying upon to punish those who support Mr. Salif? So that's another matter, but his views are not representative.
I think he was referring to the lawmakers from the governing party who said unilaterally did it.
He did say that, and the statement is clear. And I wish he hadn't done so, because as the spokesperson of the party, as the one who runs the party day to day, there has to be broad consultation before you come up with such a statement which you intend to be a policy statement, but that's not the case. It was a hasty, emotionally delivered statement which doesn't represent the party. Yes, it wasn't supported by any facts. He called people morally deficient. Mr. Salif is not morally deficient. He provided no evidence to that. He called him a monster. He's not a monster. Mr. P didn't provide any evidence. He just threw out emotional words, and it is very unfortunate. But it has become a pattern for the Secretary General to go on radio and spew out vile hate, which is not the nature of the party. So the party has some dysfunctional issues that has to be addressed. I think the Secretary General and the leadership under their watch.
Dysfunctional, misfunction,
to have, I intended to use the word dysfunction. and
that is strong though.
That's the reality. And under their watch, the leadership should be more concerned with addressing this and trying to bring the party together, trying to strengthen the party, instead of going outside and continuing repeatedly to make statements that are not well thought out.
So when did you realize this?
But I have called the Secretary General to check on several occasions. I remember he went on radio and said I should resign when he had scant information about the issue he was discussing. He also called for the resignation of Minister Brown, and that trend has continued. And I think, as a member of the party, that somebody has to stand up to this sort of behavior. And the consequences, what would they be? It's a political institution. There has to be diversity within the political institution itself. And for the Secretary General to come and make such a statement is so unfortunate that he has to be checked.
What are you reading? What do you think is behind this?
Well, the structure of the party provides for broad consultation. The Secretary General did not do that. I would think that if he had done so, if the leadership had done so, they would have had more information instead of listening to ESC and then jumping to conclusion. That is exactly what has happened. And it's also very unfortunate. I think what is driving this is a sort of paranoia that some of the chosen candidates, that in some cases, Mr. P is from Nima, the Unity Party endorsed the candidacy of Prince Johnson.
But he didn't comment on that, though.
Because of his own parochial interests. So now he goes on the attack against another candidate who I don't see as being the enemy, and I disagree with Mr. P when he says that Mr. Salif is an enemy of the Unity Party.
Why do you think he's not an enemy?
He is not an enemy. In fact, though he's not a card-carrying member of the Unity Party, Rob is not a member of the Unity Party. But in 2011, he went in the slums, in the ghettos, he campaigned, he pointed to his works, and he was a strong partner of the Unity Party in 2011. And he has continued to initiate programs that is contributive to the work of the Unity Party. So how can such a man be an enemy of the party? He's not an enemy. In fact, I think otherwise he's a friend. So the conclusions that Mr. P drew are conclusions that are not based on any facts.
One point is stressed that Mr. Salif is supporting a candidate in Grand Cape County.
Where is the evidence? Where is the evidence? There's no evidence to that, and I don't believe it. In fact, I spoke to Mr. Salif a couple of times when he was categoric. He doesn't know Masali well. He has not supported Masali because they have put that to him, that he's supporting Ibe Masali, which he has not. I mean, but what if he were? He's not a member of the Unity Party. What if that's what he was doing? Does that
does
that make him an enemy? So why would other people in Nima say the Unity Party has, through Mr. P's instrumentality, endorsed Senator Prince Johnson, though he's not a Unity Partisan? So does that make Wema P an enemy of the Unity Party? I think we should focus on adjusting some of the structural dysfunction within the party.
Mr. You've mentioned the word dysfunction more than 3 times. Let me come to this. Is this a vivid expression that the Unity Party is not intact, given the fact that the Secretary General will issue a statement that does not represent a consensus of the party leadership? And 2, we are seeing that...
I did not say the party leadership. I said the rank and file of the party. I'm not a member of the leadership, but I'm a member of the rank and file.
The question is, does that represent the fact that the Unity Party is not
in the party that require to be corrected? And I think all of us need to put our hands on the deck, recognize the fact that there are some issues. There is a gap between the party's leadership and the rank and file. Since 2011, when the Unity Party had a convention, there has been no convention since. I mean, constitutionally, there cannot be a convention now. But has there been a gathering, a mass gathering of the party rank and file? Has there been emergency Congress? Has there been? No. So there are issues that are still left lingering. That as a leadership, I would think they will focus on addressing some of these issues instead of focusing on one individual.
And these issues have been around for some time.
They are lingering issues, yes.
Yeah, we have said before on this network that the party is divided on allegiance line. There are those on the camp of the chairman and those on the other side with the standard bearer.
Those are not the words I would choose, but what is a political party? A political party is a group of people coming together, but there are still diversities in the party. There are still interests. Even in 2011, the president, what she did was to build, apart from Unity Partisans, she built a strong coalition of non-Unity Party people. I would think that the leadership of the party will build upon that coalition that swept President Salif to power. An informal coalition, I would say, but that was it. Most of the people who support
This is the bush chicken. It is the news I wish you up. We have a special interview with Councillor Charles Walker Brumskine, and my name is Baptima Sina. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Senator-elect Jujulu Milton Tiaje of Sano County of the Unity Party.
Sano County Senator-elect.
Senator J. Blabo Brown of Maryland County Independent. Senator Chief Joel Howard Taylor, Bon County, the National Patriotic Party. Senator Joel Howard Taylor, Bon County, the National Patriotic Party. Senator Prince Yomi Johnson, Nima County Independent. Senator Prince Yomi Johnson, Nima County Senator-elect George Manawia of the Congress for Democratic Change. Senator-elect Stephen J.H. Zago of Lower County of the Liberty Party. Senator-elect Francis Salone Page of Riverside County. The National Democratic Coalition NDC. Senator-elect Francis Salazar